Hello and welcome back to Scratch Your Farm Models. So today we're going to be building a log splitter. So I've got this one here which I built a few years ago based off the one we've got in real life, which is a homemade one. And then it's a bit big because I built it when I was a lot younger. If you sort of get a scale for the scale, it's not, it's just too big. It was good for when I was younger, but now I'm building better stuff. It's time to upgrade it. So I've got these rough cuts of I-beams, 3D printed I-beams from doing the barn. So I saw this video, but of doing the log split, I'm going to pretty much do it the same, but I'm going to do it in a bigger scale because it's a 1/64 scale I think it was done in. So we're going to basically have an I-beam, an axle underneath, a ram on top, because in real life on this bit on the log splitter, that bit there is an I-beam. So we'll get into it. I've got this axle here which would be perfect, but for an I-beam it's too wide, so I'm gonna cut it down. I might just be able to snip it down. It's not good for the snips, but so about that. Yeah, that works. Wouldn't recommend doing that because it blunts them, but now and again it's alright. So then we've got the I-beam there which needs to get elevated a bit, so we'll build some sort of a frame. It's also going to have a tow hitch on it, so got to figure out how to do that. So I've cut this piece here, slight angles, drilled a hole through it, mounted it to the axle. Now I'm going to glue the top part of the I-beam to it, just using Loctite super glue. Got plenty of it on. And then it's going to be about centered, but not quite. So square that up, let that set, and see you back when we start on the splitting ram. So I'm just going to carve this piece here to be our hitch. So if you ever need to sand anything, it can sometimes be easier to get a little roll of sandpaper rather than a flat bit. So you can sort of see how that's going to work. That's going to drop down and be the tow bar. So I'll get back to you once I've done this. So a lot's happened, as you can see. So get that bit of wood chip out of the way. So I've got this bracket built and mounted, which is going to be holder for the hydraulic ram, which will fit in there, and we'll put a pin through there. I've also got the drawbell mounted. Now we've got to do the splitting wedge, which is one of the most important parts of it. So I've got this piece of wood. I'm just going to use a snap knife to carve this. Obviously be careful using a snap knife or any knives. And I'm not going to take much off because I'll sand the main of it, but it's just to rough up the shape. That's still a bit big, so we'll cut it down. sand it down a bit more and trim it a little more. And there you have a splitting wedge on the end, which will sit on like that. There's already a bit of glue on there, so we just gotta wait for the glue to set and we'll get the ram in. So a lot's happened to the splitter now, so it's pretty much done. So me being me, I lost the axle, so I've had to get a nail and use that for the new axle because I took it off to paint the wheels. So I've got the hydraulic ram in now, and it's a bit painty, this ram, but it's off another project, so I'm just going to put up with that. But from looking down at it, and when you go the right angle, it looks absolutely fine. So obviously I've also glued on this bit, which is the pushing block, well, pushing the piece that pushes the log into the splitting wedge. So obviously this doesn't have a motor, it's supposed to be like something the farmer made himself. So this is going to be powered off the back of a tractor with hydraulic lines. So I'm just making the hydraulic lines now. I'm just using this black lines. You get them really cheap from HLT. And then you'll have one at the front for your return and one at the back for your flow. And you might want to glue them in a couple of different places, and the one that goes to the front needs to be slightly shorter. So I'm just going to use a little bit of Loctite super glue. And then to make it easier to stick, I'm just going to bend it around once. Crush it in like that. So there's a bit more of a surface area to stick. And put that on there. Push down on it hard and it will stick. Then we do the back one, do the same. Bend it over so it's like a hook. Push it in. You're better off with pliers like this. Crush it. Then a bit of Loctite up the front. I'm going to put this on the side because some of these hydraulic rams, they have slightly offset return hoses. Sometimes it can be a bit fiddly, but I'll see when I've done this. So as you can see, it's done now, and it looks really well behind cases, mixed case even. So it's got the hydraulic lines going up there. I never did a handle or lever, did I? What a muppet, let's do one. Alright, that's better. So I've got a lever there and a split block. So you've got one line going from the block to the ram and one line going from the block straight to the tractor. So I think it looks really good, especially on the back of a mixed tractor. So it's definitely an upgrade from the one I had before. I don't have the one I had before to give you a comparison because I used the same ram and it sort of fell to bits when I took the ram off of it. Could do with I need to get some spray paint and do the rims a bit better, but it's what I had at the moment. And also I've only put marker pen on the handle, and that'll get a little bit of tape on there, so as and when I get them things I will do that, but even without that I think it looks really good. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and see you again soon.